Hearty welcome to all my dear students and welcome to online classes. I appreciate all my dear students for joining me and also expressing my gratitudes for hearing me. I might believe that all my dear students are staying safe and sound. In the last month, we were going through some of the chapters of sociology. In this month also, we can continue with the same subject, and I would like to teach you from the book entitled Social Change and Development in India. I request all my dear students to take this book. I request my dear students to take the page number 18. When you open the chapter entitled Cultural Change, we can see the pictures of some of the social reformers. First of all, I would like to give you the introduction to the chapter. The first paragraph consists of introduction to the chapter. When we go through the first paragraph, we can understand that colonialism changed the structure of Indian society. As we all know that due to colonialism done by the British, Indian society underwent some kind of structural change. What do you mean by structural change? Structural change means change in social relationship, such as joint family changed to nuclear family, agrarian system changed into industrial system. In this way, Indian society underwent some structural changes due to colonialism. Next point, industrialization and urbanization transformed the lives of people in India. In the last class or in the last few sessions, we were going through the changes brought by urbanization and industrialization in the life of people in India. We can understand that what are the changes. First one, factories replaced field as place of work. As we all know that in the past, before colonialism, much of the people in India, especially farmers, they were working on the field. They were doing kind of traditional way of farming. But when industrialization came, factories replaced agricultural land. It means people, they went to factory in search of job and they left their agricultural field. Next change is cities replaced villages for living. We know that when industrialization came, which caused urbanization. Urbanization brought cities and people in villages were attracted to the cities and they went to city in search of job, so that the villages connected nearby or situated nearby cities, people went to the city in search of job. Next point, there were some changes in culture, norms, ways of life, values and fashion. The people in India, they underwent some changes with regard to culture. Western culture was brought to the Indian soil. The norms of society changed. The people changed their lifestyle. Values also changed and fashion. Next one, we can understand the social structure formed as an arrangement of persons in a relationship. That is why I told you, due to colonialism, Indian society underwent some social, structural change brought by changes in social relationship. And the social relationships were controlled by social institutions like caste, class, and culture through socially accepted norms and behavior. Next point, it means the last point in this paragraph is this chapter deals with how important are structural changes in understanding cultural changes. In the previous chapter we discussed together the structural changes undergone by Indian society. In this chapter we can learn the cultural changes which was caused by the structural change. This is all about the first paragraph from the chapter, the cultural change. And second paragraph deals with two developments happened in India after colonialism. I believe that all my dear students are with me. I request all my dear students to keep learning. As we all know that the present scenario brings chaos in our life, disturbances in our life. But we should not be disturbed by the things happening in our society. We have to fight against such situations by concentrating on the things which will be useful in your life. The second paragraph deals with two movements happened in India after colonialism. First one, there were some social movements which were aimed to bring deliberate changes in social practices. After colonialism, there were some social movements emerged in India which was supposed to bring social changes with regard to a kind of fight against the social practices such as discrimination against women and lower caste, and which was initiated by the movements were initiated by some of the reformers in the 19th century and national leaders in the early 20th century. After colonialism in India, emerged some social movements led by social reformers and national leaders which were supposed to put an end to some of the discriminations which were there in our society. And second point is, there was emergence of movements like Sanskritization, modernization, secularization, and westernization. These are the four important movements which emerged before or after colonialism. Sanskritization emerged before colonialism, and the rest means modernization, secularization, and westernization emerged after colonialism, which was less deliberate but brought changes in cultural practices. The purpose behind formation of these movements to bring changes in social practices which was prevalent in those times, like sati, remarriage of widows. Such social evils were prevalent, were existing in those times. So such movements took place in the soil of India. This is all about this paragraph second, which deals with the movements took place in India after colonialism. Third paragraph discusses the nature and goals of the movements. What are the natures? What are the goals of these movements? First one, it was intended to fight against challenges that colonial India faced. During colonialism, there were some changes happened in India. So, there are some challenges in front of the social reformers because society was changed due to colonialism. So we need India to be free from social evils and practices like sati and remarriage of widows. So it was a challenge in front of the social reformers to bring changes in Indian society during or after colonialism. Second point, it was aimed at putting an end to social evils like sati, child marriage, widow remarriage, and caste discrimination. These are the social evils existing in those times, so that the social movements emerged to put an end or to uproot these movements from the soil of India. Next, third point, there were movements before colonialism which was or they were central to Buddhism, Bhakti, and Sufi movements. There were some social movements which were taken place in Indian soil before colonialism, and they were based on Buddhism, Bhakti, and Sufi movements. Last point in this paragraph is there emerged or created a creative combination of Western liberalism and new look on traditional literature. We all know that Indian national leaders, they were influenced by the Western liberalism brought by the British through their books. The Western books dealt with the ideas like liberalism, which was influenced by the ideas like freedom, nationalism, and liberalism were influenced by the Indian nationalists. And in those times, the people in India, they were also very much encouraged by these ideas which caused the freedom. So that we can say that the reformers, they were influenced by liberalism brought by the Western education, and they also wanted to give a new look on traditional literature. There was a combination of Western liberalism and a new vision or new look on what we can say traditional literature. This is all about the third paragraph. Now I request all of you to take the page number 19, and there we can see in the page number 19 we can see a box 2.1. It is very important because it gives you some of the contributions given by writers and social reformers. First point is that Ram Mohan Roy, he attacked the practice of sati. Ram Mohan Roy, he was a social reformer. He was against the social practice of sati. Next point, there was a writer, his name is Ranade, and his writings were purposed to give permission for remarriage of widows. In those times, widows were not permitted to marry again, but the writings of Ranade gave permission for the remarriage of widows. And third point is the content of the new education was modern and liberal. The new educational books gave importance to the ideas like modernity and liberalism, and influenced by the European Enlightenment, Reformation and Renaissance. These are the movements took place in Europe. It was influenced by the reformers in India also. Next point, there was a writer, his name is Kandu Kiri Vire Salingam, a famous writer, and his writings presented Navya Nyaya logic. What is what we can say justice we can apply to the life of the people who are rejected. Last point, Sir Syed Ahmad and his writings emphasized the need of free inquiry. In Muslim community, women were not allowed for free inquiry, so that the writings done by Sir Syed Ahmad concentrated on the need of free inquiry. This is all about the paragraph 2.1 conveyed. Now we can move to the second paragraph of the page number 90. There we can see the main heading, main topic, changes elaborated by Satish Sabharwal in colonial India. Satish Sabharwal was a sociologist, and he elaborated, he explained the changes which happened in colonial India. The perspective of this sociologist about the changes happened in colonial India. First point, there were printing press, telegraph, microphone, movement of people and goods, railways, which were developed by new technologies, which caused the spreading of new ideas. The technology used during colonialism caused the spread of new ideas. Second point, there were some exchanges of ideas. Ideas were exchanged by reformers who were from Punjab and Bengal with reformers who were from Madras and Maharashtra. There were reformers, they were communicating each other and they were conveying their ideas. They were conveying their ideas among themselves. We can see some of the reformers like Keshav Chandra in 1864. He was from Bengal and he visited Madras for meeting with other reformers for exchanging their ideas. Next social reformer is Pandita Ramabai, and this reformer visited different corners of the world, and there were some Christian missionaries also. They came to Nagaland, Mizoram and Meghalaya for communicating with the people, for what we conveying their valuable ideas which could change the society. And these were the changes elaborated by sociologist Satish Sabharwal, which happened in colonial India. Now we can move to the page number 20, and next important point, next paragraph deals is the modern social organization and contributions of reformers. Modern social organizations and contributions of reformers. The first point is there are some social reformers and social organizations which were aimed at bringing changes in our society. There were some social organizations like Brahma Samaj, and which started in Bengal, and Arya Samaj, which started in Punjab. These were the organization purposed to bring changes in Indian society. And there were All India Muslim Ladies Conference, which took place in 1914. You have to remember the date, 1914, which brought changes in the Muslim community. And there are some reformers who contributed to Indian society. There are some, what we can say, reformers who debated in public meetings. They conducted debate in public meetings to bring changes in our society, and they also debated through public media. So their debate was given currency in Indian society, which were intended or aimed to bring social changes. And there were some translations of work from one Indian language to another Indian language. For example, Indu Prakash, which was written by Vidyasagar, which was translated to Marathi language by Vishnu Shastri in 1868. In 1868, there was a translation done, which was done by Vishnu Shastri. He translated the work Indu Prakash written by Vidyasagar. These are the important ideas from this paragraph. I request all my dear students to stay with me. And the last paragraph, the last for this session, deals with the changes in the 19th century. There were some changes taken place in the 19th century, because 19th century was known as period of questioning and debate. 19th century was a period of questioning and debate. First point, new ideas of liberalism, freedom, homemaking, marriage, roles for mothers and daughters, self-conscious pride in culture and tradition emerged. There were some new ideas emerged in Indian society in the 19th century, which were liberalism and freedom, homemaking, how to take care of your home, and new ideas about marriage, and new ideas about roles of mothers and daughters, and pride. We should be proud about our culture and tradition, which took place in 19th century. Importance was given to education. The social reformers, they spread the important idea that education can bring changes in the life of the people. And education was a tool for achieving modernity and development. Education can lead people to modernity and development. And also education can be used for preserving our ancient heritage. We have our legacy, we have our ancient culture which should be preserved. Due to Western culture, our traditional culture was affected in a negative way. So we have to preserve our what we can say ancient heritage, which can be done through our education. Importance was given to women's education for the development of society. Both women and men should be educated. Only when our society can be improved in a meaningful way. And we have some social reformers like Jyotiba Phule, and was a social reformer who started a school in Pune. It was a great contribution done by this social reformer who started a school in Pune, and there were some debates conducted on the subject of women's education, that women were educated in pre-modern India. Before colonialism also, women were what we can say educated. Some say that women were educated in the past, and those who are against that, they were telling that not all the women, were not educated. The women who belong to what we can say the higher caste, the women who were belonging to the privileged community, the women who were belonging to the privileged community, they were educated. There were some debates which were conducted on women's education, which means the women in the past, they were educated, and there are other people, they said that not all the women who belonged to privileged community, they got educated. Last point in this paragraph is, we have social reformer like Jyotiba Phule. She was glorifying the pre-Aryan period. She was influenced by pre-Aryan period, the period before Aryan age. And we have Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and he was encouraged or influenced by the Aryan age. These are all the important points from this paragraph, and today we have gone through some of the important points. And first we were going through the introduction to the chapter. Next we were going through two developments happened in India after colonialism. Third, nature and goals of the social movements, and we summarized the box 2.1, and we also discussed the changes elaborated by Satish, the sociologist, about colonial India, and we were going through modern social organization and contributions of the reformers, and last we were going through the changes happened in the 19th century. I request all of you to write down some questions to be answered. First question is, what were the changes took place or taken place in the 19th century? Second point, what are the goals and nature of the movements? Third point, write down two important developments happened in India after colonialism. Please read the chapter so that you can understand more from this chapter. God bless you. Thank you.